Greetings. Thank you for attending our EMS Program Advisory Committee meeting on April 21st. This PowerPoint is to go over program outcomes and give you an update on what is happening in the EMS program. This is meant to be viewed prior to you attending the Advisory Committee meeting on Friday the 21st. Just a reminder about Central New Mexico Community College. Our vision statement is changing lives and building community, and we take that very seriously in the EMS program. Our mission statement at CNM is to be a leader in education and training, and our core values are as listed below. What do we need from our community partners? We need open and honest communication. We would like to know what we do well. We would like to hear about your concerns, and we would like to make sure that as educators, we are partners in shaping the future of EMS. We do need to support each other regarding clinical and internship opportunities. We need to be committed as partners in the educational process. We want to hear your feedback throughout the year. Informal feedback is just fine, via email or meetings or just discussing things throughout the year. Today we will need summative feedback, we will need advisory participation, and we will need surveys filled out. The purpose of our meeting today, we want to specifically address, we need to update you from last year on our paramedic program changes and how that's going. We also need to update you on our pass rates, specifically our intermediate pass rates from last year. We want to let you know what we're doing regarding behavioral issues in the classroom. At the end of the day, we are here to listen to you regarding what you think this training institution needs to do in the realm of EMS education. We also want to make sure that we're hearing your feedback so that we can strategically plan our course offerings, both credit and non-credit. Today, what we will need from you at the end of the advisory meeting on Friday, we'll need resource surveys and program-specific surveys filled out and turned in. We ask that you review our program goals. I will go over those today. If you have suggestions for additional program goals, please bring those to the advisory committee meeting. We will review our last year's goals so that you can see our progress on those. We'll take your recommendations for our program, and on Friday we'll have you meet with our students as well. So here are our goals from 2016. This goal right here is an ongoing goal that we have as a program. It is to prepare competent entry-level emergency medical technician paramedics, intermediates, and basics. One of our additional goals is from last year was to increase paramedic level program retention by 5%. When we initially made this goal, our retention was 61% for the summer 2016 program and 71% for the spring 2016 program. Fall 2016, we had around 22 applicants. We accepted 15, only 12 enrolled, and we currently have 8 students. We will talk to you about the type of attrition that we have dealt with and how it is different from previous years. So currently our retention for fall 2016 is 67%. For spring 2017, we had 24 tests. We accepted 14, 12 started the program, and we have 11 still enrolled for a 92% retention rate. An update on another 2016 goal was to increase our National Registry pass rates at the basic and intermediate level by 5%. Pass rates did increase, however, by a small margin, only about 1%. We went to an 84% pass rate for EMT Basic, and we went to a 78% pass rate for EMT Intermediate. The national average does sit somewhere around the 60th percentile. However, we still have the goal of bringing that pass rate up in our program. The numbers were collected from fall 2015 through fall 2016, as that aligns with our required JO reporting. Here are our 2017 program goals. To prepare competent entry-level emergency medical technician paramedics in the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective learning domains, with or without exit points at the EMT Intermediate, EMT Basic, and or first responder levels. Additional goals, we would like to see our National Registry pass rate continue to go up over the next 3 years. We would like to continue to improve our processes and policies to address behavioral issues in all realms of education, classroom, clinical, and field. We would like to collect data on our paramedic entrance process, especially regarding retention. We would also work on a way to offer high-quality continuing education and non-credit education at CNM. As a reminder, I'd like to get this information out to you. Oftentimes I have students ask me what's required to get into the intermediate and paramedic programs, but unfortunately, usually they get this information a little later than the deadlines. And so if you can help me in getting this information out when you have interested applicants in your services. For EMT Intermediate, they must have completed EMT Basic. They must be licensed by week 2 of the intermediate term. They must have completed English 1101 and Health 1001. They must be registered for Math 1210. They have to complete our pre-screening form, which I can show you at the advisory committee meeting. They can use something called credit for prior learning if they took EMT Basic a while ago and the course numbers have changed, or if they took it at another institution. This helps them in terms of their academic transcript. It makes it a little easier for them to transition into further EMS coursework. We do give priority registration for those that are already licensed at the time of pre-screening, and we do give priority registration for EMS field experience. This is what intermediate looks like. Term 1 is theory and lab. They must pass term 1 in order to go into term 2, which is clinical. At the end of term 1 is when they take their National Registry psychomotor examination, and at the end of term 2 is when they take their cognitive written examination. In order to enter the paramedic program, here are the requirements for entry. You must have a 2.5 GPA. You must take the FSDAP entrance exam. You must complete 2 graded scenarios after the pre-screening form has been approved. The rubric that we grade you on to enter regarding these scenarios is available on the website all the time. The additional prerequisites: you must have English 1101, which is required for EMT Basic coursework anyway. You must have a mathematics requirement. I believe the minimum is Math 1210. Psychology 1105, Health 1001, and Biology. Those are the prerequisites to enter the paramedic program. They must be licensed by day 1 of the program. This is verified twice by program entry, as well as at our program orientation. We do give priority registration for experienced providers. Again, you can use credit for prior learning if you took your coursework elsewhere, and that pre-screening form must be completely filled out. This is a reminder. If you were at our advisory last year, we presented on how we changed our entire paramedic program, and we changed the term by terms. The terms previously were around 16 credit hours, and they were very intense, and felt the community and student feedback was that it was almost impossible to go to school and be successful in completing 16 hours of coursework. We also had to change around our program to meet the NREMT PPCP requirements regarding the capstone field experience, which had to be completed at the end of the didactic and lab phases. So you can see that we are a 4-term program with a lighter load at the very beginning in term 1, and it progressively increases until term 4. Upon completion of our paramedic program, the students are awarded an Associate of Applied Science as well as a Certificate of Completion in the paramedic coursework. This is just a reminder of what the National Registry PPCP looks like. We follow this. As you can see, the laboratory phase, clinical phase, and field phase have a certain order to them, and we had to rearrange our program to meet the capstone field internship experience requirements. We would like to hear your feedback regarding the new design of our program at the advisory committee on Friday. We also would ask that the students who are present give feedback as well. Regarding the requirements of NREMT PPCP, here are some listed for you for your reference. We require 30 intubations with the last 9 of 10 attempts being successful. Students are required to perform 50 airway managements with the last 20 out of 20 attempts being successful. This also applies to any airway management that occurs in the field or clinical setting. They must have 10 successful team leads, 50 successful leads in internship, with the last 18 out of 20 attempts being successful. They also must have 10 successful team member evaluations as well. This has become very important in our training as the students are understanding how important it is to be a good team leader as well as a good team member or partner. Live patient encounter minimums. Students must do at minimum 25 medication administrations, 5 BVM ventilations on a live person, 20 IV or IO placements, 12 total pediatric patient encounters, 40 total adult patient encounters, and 50 internship team leads. Again, all live patient minimums. Regarding testing, NREMT has changed its testing process at the paramedic level. It used to be 12 individual patient care skills. The NREMT wanted to move toward the goal of assessing candidates in an environment which better simulates what we do in the out-of-hospital setting. Thus, the examination has changed, and it incorporates attributes of team leadership with scene and patient management. Currently, the psychomotor exam includes the following: patient assessment trauma, dynamic cardiology, static cardiology, oral board station A and B, and an integrated out-of-hospital scenario. The key about the integrated out-of-hospital scenario, it includes multiple facets of patient care. The candidate will be presented with a pediatric, geriatric, or adult patient, and it evaluates his or her ability to manage a call, lead the team, effectively communicate, and show professionalism through the entire encounter. There is a live patient that has to be treated, as well as a professional partner that the paramedic has to lead. Just a reminder about our clinical structure. We will go over this in detail at our program advisory committee meeting on Friday. This is what the paramedic students are completing in the paramedic program. To update you on program outcomes, we would like to first look at our JOE reporting cycle, which is fall 2015 through now. 442 EMT basics have attempted the National Registry exam, and 83% of them have passed. The AEMT pass rate, 146 have attempted the exam, 79% have passed, fall 2015 through the current cycle. AEMT is our lowest pass rate number, and so we provided it to you at the last advisory. There is a review in the intermediate clinical phase. The reason that it's in the clinical phase is because they are done with lab and theory, and we want to make sure that they are reviewing the content prior to the cognitive exam. The students also take the FISDAP exam twice, so that the first time they take it, they get a learning prescription with the idea that they are studying during clinicals and ready to take the exam again to improve based upon the learning prescription that they were given. Long-term solutions, we are looking at changing our clinical to a clinical intensive, which in essence would give a little bit more contact time, so that the students not only would be able to attend their clinical and field shifts, but also have a solid amount of time built in to review for that National Registry exam. Back to our pass rates, our paramedic pass rate, fall 2015 through current, 49 students have attempted the exam and 100% of them have passed. Our overall 3-year average, we are required to report out via accreditation. We've had 609 EMT basic students attempt the National Registry with an overall cumulative pass rate of 85%. Our intermediate 3-year average, 220 attempted the exam. That first attempt pass rate is very low. We'd like to change that, obviously, with our action plan in place. Cumulative pass rate is at 81%. The paramedic 3-year average, 72 students have attempted the National Registry exam, and 100% of them have passed. A report on our medical director, Dr. Kalishman, is very involved, especially at the paramedic level. One of our goals is to get Dr. Kalishman more involved at the basic and intermediate level for the upcoming year. He attends lab and theory courses. He lectures on specific topics. Toxicology seems to be one of his favorites. He does faculty observations. He attends final testing for paramedics. He assists by reviewing videos of students that we feel we need a medical director review on while testing. He regularly attends the JOE and the medical direction committee. He did teach our community paramedics in the last cycle. He sends us countless research articles regarding EMS practice and education, and he actually reviews and improves our exams, our required program minimums, and every single assessment outcome report. We do reporting for lab, theory, and clinical for all levels of instruction, first responder through EMT paramedic. To update you on our community EMS program, we will be offering the next cohort of community paramedics in fall 2017. We will be advertising that to you, so keep your eyes out, or your eyes open. The first term is completely online, and the second term is online with clinical and lab as follows. This is what the first semester of community paramedic looks like. It is all online. And the second semester is mostly online with a clinical experience, a lab, and a capstone. We do tend to work with our community paramedic students regarding their schedule, because typically they are full-time working paramedics. Other things that we're doing at CNM, we are participating in the regional conferences, whether it's refreshers or CE training. We hope to participate in the Socorro Fire and EMS Expo coming in September. We did host a Gallup combo refresher, first responder, and intermediate class. We are currently working with Bernalillo County on a CE package that fits the national requirements. We consistently offer New Mexico transition courses, and our pass rate is, I believe, 100% for those who test at the state. We have assisted with air care and air methods contracts. We are very excited about a dual credit opportunity coming in 2018. Rio Rancho Public Schools wants to spur interest in their juniors and seniors regarding entering the fire service, so we will offer a first responder and Firefighter 1 dual credit academy for those high school students, and that will be hosted at our AMREP campus in Rio Rancho. Consistently, the BLS program, specifically Kyle Cole, has taken on a lot of interdisciplinary scenarios with criminal justice and respiratory therapy. Great real-life experience for our students to manage interagency interactions. We completed another Bosque School dual credit first responder course. We have implemented EMT kits for EMT basic and intermediate students. The basic kits include a very nice stethoscope, blood pressure cuff, eye protection, pen light, a wristwatch, since nobody really wears them anymore because of phones. And so it prepares them for any situation that arises in class. If we dispatch them to a call, it teaches them to check their own equipment prior to arriving to class. Our intermediate students, the equipment is a little bit more detailed as it applies to the skills associated with being an intermediate. But again, it also teaches the students to arrive prepared for class. And we hope that that bleeds over into being prepared for work. We are participants in the SunPath grant. Currently, CNM is participating in building an online EMT basic theory course. CNM currently holds the chair position at the New Mexico Joe, and we are working on theater students as patients in our program. We did pilot that 3 times total in the last couple of years, and now we're working on an actual job description for patient actors. So what we want to do is, I'm sending this video out so that you have our program data prior to coming to this meeting. The purpose of the meeting is really to listen to you, our community partners. So please think about the following, and if we could discuss them at advisory, that would be wonderful. How many EMT basics, intermediates, and paramedics do you hire every year? And how many do you actually need to hire? What are your minimum hiring requirements for entry into your department? Do we feel like CNM is meeting your needs? What do you like about CNM graduates? What could we do to better prepare our graduates for the workforce? What do you need from CNM as a community partner? At the advisory committee meeting, please know that we do have to have you fill out some surveys. That's required for our accrediting body. We would like to discuss and hopefully you approve of our 2017 goals. If you have goals to bring to the advisory, please jot those down and bring them on Friday. We'd like for you to meet with our students and listen firsthand what it's like to be a student in our program. And we want to take your recommendations for our program as well. Community outreach is important to us. With our students, as busy as they are, we still ask that they partake in volunteerism. Often we ask them to participate in hands-only CPR training at the college. We often have t-shirt campaigns where they can purchase a t-shirt to support several causes. Breast cancer research and advocacy was one here. And we also have them participate in Light the Night, provide first aid, Light the Night for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we have our students raise money for St. Bald's. We very much appreciate your time when you attend the advisory on Friday. I appreciate you listening to this ahead of time so that you know what our program is doing right now regarding outcomes and what we are currently teaching. Please bring your thoughts to the advisory, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday the 21st at 9:30 on main campus. Thanks so much and have a great day.